Hello, 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 everybody, and welcome to another awesome week of author chat. I pray that you all have had an amazing week since the last time that we have spoke to each other and you have been here. I am so excited about the guests that we have tonight. I'm excited every week about who we have come on and discuss with us their book. I think it is so amazing, some of the authors that we've had an opportunity to chat with. If this is your first time here, again, I just want to say hello, and welcome. We've had some amazing authors. We had author Sayuri Smith, who has a book called Scriptures for Strippers, and oh my God, that interview alone was mind blowing. You hear me? Mind blowing. And then last week we had the amazing author who, listen, Sophia Johnson is the truth. Okay, so I am very much excited about our guest for tonight, and you all know I do not delay the time. But just a brief introduction: I am Paula Foster, the founder of Speak Life International, and where we help authors go from aspiring to actually bringing their project from paper to published, or from their head to the paper and then being published. We offer publishing packages that include coaching and so much more. We help you all the way through from start to finish, or if you just need to jump in the middle, come on in where the table is spread. We do not, we don't discriminate on genres or anything. So we're here. The only thing we don't do as of right now is children's books, but we are definitely working on that. So again, I'm so glad to have you here. If you are an aspiring author and you want to get more information on how to get your book published or how to start the process, go ahead to bit.ly/consult18 and schedule an author consultation. I would love to speak with you about your book and about your project and getting you started on that process. So without further ado, I'm going to quickly read just bits and pieces of our author's bio from tonight, and then we're going to go ahead and bring her on, because you all know I don't believe in wasting time. So tag, share, and invite your followers, your friends, fellow authors, or somebody that's just looking for a new book. This book is called Throw Like a Girl. So just a little bit about our author. She is an amazing, let me just say that, she's an amazing young lady. She is a well-known and highly respected basketball coach within the Evanston community, as she has spent over 19 years coaching and training youth basketball. When asked to provide her 6 top reasons why she coaches, the list was because she has a passion for the children and youth. She has a passion for teaching youth life lessons through the tool of coaching. She has a passion for building youth self-esteem, confidence, pride, trust, and standard for excellence. She also is very passionate about the development of our youth, both on and off the court. She is passionate about building bridges, which is support for success for our youth, and she has a passion for the game of basketball. She is the youngest of her siblings, and her passion for children started as early as 10 years old when she became an aunt. So you know she has to be responsible. So she's not new to this. Like I say, she's not new to this, but she's definitely true to it. And her reason for coaching is to assist with the development of young people into successful and respectful people, with the focus on young ladies. And you all know we need our young men need it too, but our young ladies definitely need that support from other young women who are doing it and can show them, look, no, life for me has not always been a crystal stair, but I can tell you how to overcome these obstacles. I can be here to support you through your trials and tribulations, and I'm going to show you how to build this self-esteem and how to have confidence in yourself. So I am so loving this. You know, like she said, she's not just doing this on the court, but she takes those skills and applies them off the court as well. And then a little bit about her book. It teaches you it coaches you to transform girls into successful women. You all know I don't do a lot of talking, because if I read the entire bio and the entire book synopsis, then we won't have a reason to talk to our author and get their heart and feel their heart as they talk about their book. But one thing about this book is this: the techniques you learn in this book will help you win games. However, through her 2 decades of coaching and training in youth basketballs, she's learned she's learned that life coaching is essential for success both on and off the court. And she's not just going to teach you how to coach a winning team, but she wants to show you how to impact young women for a lifetime. We're going to go ahead and bring on none other than Coach LaShun-Williams. The nitty gritty. Yes, ma'am. I can see you well. How are you?
I am good. I am good.
That is
I feel
amazing.
so honored, and I don't know if I'm worthy of that wonderful introduction.
Listen, you are definitely worthy of it. You out here doing big things, so you are definitely worthy of it.
Yes, yes. Thank you. Thank you.
You are welcome. So thank you for being on, and welcome to Author Chat. I'm just so honored because I too have a passion for the youth and especially our women. So anytime another woman is out here doing her thing and you're an author and you're coaching, it's like, come on now. Girl power all the way around. And it's not even March yet. So, thank you for everything that you do. So I'm just going to kind of give you the floor because it's your time to shine. I've talked enough. Let the people hear from you.
Well, like you said, I started early, being the youngest of my siblings. My sister had my first niece when I was 10 and a half, and responsibilities started kind of early.
Right.
To pick her up every day for my sister, and watching her until she got home from work while my mom was cooking.
Okay.
So you just kind of jump on in there and you just do what you got to do.
Yeah.
My grandmother used to always say we don't do everything we want to do, but we dang sure do what we got to do.
Got to do, right.
And, families stick together. So growing up in that way, there was a lot of things that I had to do early. And I bumped my head a lot of times on a lot of different situations. And when I went to college, I went to a college in Minnesota, not where I wanted to go.
Mm-hmm.
And I learned a lot more because it was an atmosphere where there was less than 1% minority. I didn't just say black, I said minority.
Minority, right. Big difference.
Yes. So, you go through even more. And there were a lot of times you just kind of feel alone and have a lot of time to think. My degree was in psychology. And when I came back, I was asked to do a favor and help coach and give back to the community while I was working in a corporate world. I had got a certification in coaching, professional coaching, but you know how the devil gets to work and tell you you can't make a good living off of that. So I listened to the world instead of what God said.
Gotcha.
And I worked in the corporate world, landed a nice job, executive job with a Fortune 550 company in Chicago, and had my side practice.
Okay.
So I'm going to work during the day, basically coaching for the company. They making all the money and I'm getting pennies, leaving there and going to coach our youth and then doing my coaching practice in between. And I kept hearing all the women complaining about the same things. And it all boiled down to low self-esteem and basically a lot of secrets, if you will. Those family secrets of things that people have been through that they refuse to tell to keep the next person from bumping their heads.
Right.
And then I started really paying more and more attention as I was dealing with our youth and coaching them in basketball. And I realized that there was no discrimination with the kids, whether they had money, they didn't have money, whether they had a foundation, whether they didn't have a foundation, whether they had a support group or not a support group. All of them were lost.
Okay, yeah.
They were lost. They needed someone who actually listened to them and hear them out and not constantly beat them up, telling them what they can't do, telling them what they're not worthy of, telling them that they're not strong enough, they're not smart enough, they're not talented enough. And I had to step back and say, I was once that kid. I wasn't the best basketball player,
Right.
but luckily I had a foundation around me that taught me how to use the tools that I had to be that smart ball player to stay on the court.
Right. Right.
Just little different things that I had been through. And I said, time is over. We do not need to keep keeping these secrets. Let's build a foundation for our kids because they need us.
Yeah.
It was a time where it was mostly young black men that were lost, but our young girls are really becoming
Yeah.
a statistic.
Definitely.
Not being able to get into the schools they want to go to. Now that there's AAU for girls, a lot of people who don't want to do a regular job, that want to try to milk the cow and make them their cash cow, starting programs using them, but forgetting about them, making promises to them of this college scholarship that they're going to help them get, using their talents to build their program, to make their program look good. And when it's time for them to produce to the kid is left with nothing.
Right.
And no time to figure it out afterwards. A lot of people aren't paying attention, but the suicide rate amongst our youth is getting higher and higher in a younger and younger age.
Wow.
We now have youth that are committing suicide who are really not youth. They're really adolescents.
Right.
As early as 5th grade. And if you really step back and think about that, like, they don't even know about the world.
Nothing.
What could be that painful where they're committing suicide? So I decided to take it upon myself to start really helping build a foundation for our youth to try to grow from.
Okay.
One of the ones that really, really, really made me figure it out and say, stop running from my calling and really focus on them was, I'm not sure if you ever heard of him. His name was Ricky Birdsong. He was Northwestern University's head basketball coach for the men. Unfortunately, back in, I think it was like 2001-ish or something like that, he was going for a jog, and his daily jog with his 2 youngest children. One was his son, and then his middle daughter. They were riding their bike alongside of him. Kelly being one of them, who happened to be about 9 or 11 years old. Unfortunately, at that time, there was a white supremacist that decided to drive around in the Evanston and Skokie area and was shooting at blacks and Jews.
Wow.
He was killed in front of his children.
Wow.
His oldest daughter wasn't there, but when she became in 6th grade, her mother decided to put her in the basketball program that I was coaching in.
Okay.
And the president happened to ask me if it was okay if he put her directly on my team. Because of the situation of what she was going through, he needed somebody who would definitely focus on her and pay attention to her as an individual and not a ball player. Because of her, I inherited Kelly. Now, mind you, her family didn't need money. It wasn't one of those cases of one of the children that I was buying clothes and buying food and moving in with me and things like that. It was just with all that was going on, everybody forgot about Kelly, the individual. They were so worried about her father and the story and all the different organizations that had started because of him, and they forgot about Kelly. And I have a habit, because of being an aunt at an early age, I like to get to know the kids, and I bond with them.
Okay.
And so through that, she and I became close, and most of my children end up calling me Ma.
Okay.
And every year I had kept saying, this is the last year I'm doing this. This is the last year I'm doing this. I only volunteered for that first year and said that I was only doing 2 years and I was done. I had put in my resignation, tired of the executive team and the administration of the organization, tired of the other coaches not really doing their part. And I remember, I'm trying not to get emotional. I remember coming home after practice, announcing to my kids that that would be my last season. To a 30-minute message from Kelly of all the reasons why I shouldn't quit.
Wow.
And why she needed me. We're talking about a kid who had 2 parents that were Division I coaches. Her mom wasn't coaching at the time, but they were taken care of financially. You know,
Right.
Her father made sure everything was in line. Her needs as far as materialistic things, she didn't need of anything. And for somebody like that to leave a message on your answering machine for 30 minutes of how much you mean to them, and really in your mind you thinking that all you're doing is coaching basketball.
Right.
It meant a lot to me.
Wow.
And I had to pull myself aside. I talked to my husband. I talked to my pastor. I talked to one of my mentors who happened to be a ex-NFL player. And he knows me so well. And I kept saying, like, why is she calling me? Why is this something that she feel I can't give up? And all of them said the same thing. Kids need somebody who care about them as an individual.
As an individual, yep.
And so, although that was like my 6th year, I ended up coaching in that league for 20 years.
Wow.
And I started 3 years ago with a private Montessori high school.
Okay.
And you would think that it would be a little bit different because considering their tuition is for a high school like $23,000 a year, you know they have the money. Not many minority, the same problems.
Wow.
The same situations. And it's to the point where we have to wake up. Our youth need us.
Yeah, they do.
They're crying, they're screaming, they're hollering for us to care. And we're so busy thinking that if I buy them $200 Jordans, they're going to be okay.
Yeah.
If
Come
I
on,
buy them
come
a car,
on here.
they're going to be okay.
Come on here.
Inside, they're not okay.
Not at all.
They are hurting. And they need us.
Yep.
And I still do my coaching practice with the adults. I coach a lot of women and entrepreneurs. And I help them build their companies, help them build themselves, transform their lives. And it's all the same. Our young women are not being transformed, and they're growing into hurt
women. Yep.
Lost.
Yep.
We have to stop the cycle now. We have to build them now so that when they become adults, they're not hurting.
Exactly.
They're not saying, I wish somebody would have told me what to look out for, help to build me up, help to surround me with the things that I need.
Yep.
So that when I became a woman and have my family, have my children, I would know how to be a good mother. I would know how to be a good wife so that I won't end up raising my child as a single parent, because I would know how to compromise. I would know how to be that strong woman, but know how to be weak when I need to be weak for my husband to feel like a man.
Yep, and that's key.
People don't understand that. I've been married for 17 years, and it's not that I'm not a strong woman, but I know how to be strong enough to be weak for him to be a man, because the world is beating them up as well.
Boy, is it.
They're stripping them of their manhood. And if we're not strong enough to say, you know what, I'm a strong enough woman to be weak for you without you knowing, without throwing it in your face, being your backbone, but not being dominating, where I take over and make you feel less of a man. Like we're trying to find our roles as a strong woman. We're told to be strong. We're told to be independent, but nobody tells us how to do that.
Exactly.
Nobody shows us how to do that.
You know what? There's a young lady that we just had this conversation, and she said, I went in front of what's now her old pastors, and the first lady was like, don't come to me with that emotional stuff. And it was like, so you telling me not to come to you emotional, but you're not giving me the tools to be able to come to you in an unemotional state. And it wasn't,
Yes.
well, let me sit here and let me show you how to learn how to be delivered from the spirit of rejection or low self-esteem or whatever the case that it is, so that when you come to me from a whole place and you can talk through what's going
Yes.
on versus just, well, I don't know what to do. And da-da-da-da. Listen, I totally, and that's what a lot of women that I come across say, if you give me the tools and
Yes.
support me along the way, I'm
Yes.
good. But so
Yes.
many of us that can give the tools, and I won't say you and I are like this, but you have so many, and I've posted it on my page before about women's empowerment. Do you know that so many women have turned their nose towards women's empowerment because they're not given
Yes.
tools? It's all about a dollar bill. They're looked at as
Yes.
dollar bills and not a method of deliverance, not a method of evangelism, not a method of being healed. But it's like, okay, how much can I charge you to flake you into thinking that you
Yes.
got something? They like,
Yes.
we don't want another women's empowerment conference. We don't want another women's empowerment group because it's a temporary feeling. And some people will say, well, it's all about what you do with the information you get. But if there's no follow through, somebody that's going to be accountable to you, you
Yes.
still have failed me because I got tools,
Yes.
but what do I do with them when I feel weak? So
Yes.
I get it. I totally get it.
Or the tools that they are given are not quality.
Right.
It's like giving somebody the cover of a book without the pages.
Exactly.
I need the pages. I was blessed that although my father was so involved with my life, um, unfortunately, I was technically raised in a single parent home because he didn't live in the household with me. But he
Okay.
did not let his relationship with my mother fail me. They were like best friends. Most people who weren't in my household and didn't know he didn't live there would not know. He
Wow.
was he was out there all the time. Every basketball game, every softball game, every band concert, every choir concert, he was at it all. Um,
Gotcha.
he used to show me, I call it, he dated me. I
Okay.
have a god brother who was a single parent, and his oldest child was a daughter. And he used to laugh at me because I used to say, date your daughter. Because the
Mm-hmm.
way you're going to treat her is the kind of man she's going to look for. And if you're
Yep.
not showing her what kind of man to look for, she going to fall for anything. When
Yep.
my father took me to the movies, he opened the door. He made sure that he came to my house and gave my mother flowers. Every birthday, my mom would get fur coats and all types of stuff. Like, he literally dated us
Wow.
and showed me what kind of man to look for.
Right.
Um, he's always been the man of the household. He's always paid bills. My mother never had to take him for child support. Not only did he give her money for me, but to make sure that her money went towards the necessities for me, he gave me an allowance and expected me to buy those extra things that I wanted
Wow.
instead of her having to buy it. He was not the father of my mother's oldest two children. But if I got new skates, he bought them new
No.
skates. If he bought me a new bike, he bought them a new bike. Like, these are the things that we're not doing in our households. Instead, if you're not no longer in a relationship with your baby's father, all of a sudden
Right.
he's no good. He's this. Don't do that in front of your kids. You
Right.
are really damaging them mentally. I don't care how bad y'all relationship is. That is their father.
Yep.
That is their mother. You do not do that. There's just so many things that we are forgetting about with these kids, that we're making marks on them and we don't even
They
realize
don't
it.
even realize it. Yep.
When it came time for me to get married, my grandmother, I always grew up in a house with my mother and my grandmother, and it was interesting that she didn't take offense to it, because when my husband proposed to me and I informed her that he had proposed, I was getting married, she she called me in the room and said, baby, let's sit down and let's talk about, being a wife, being married. And I remember it so deep because I always try to make sure that what I say, I don't ask a broke man on how to get rich, because if they knew, they would be able to tell me.
Exactly.
And I said, Grandma, you know what? I love you to death. And you know, I don't mean no harm with this. I said, but unfortunately, you know, you've been divorced twice. And
Wow.
although neither one of them was your fault, I have chosen not to take marital advice from people who are not married, because I don't want the wrong advice.
Right, right,
And so my husband and I had taken a vow that throughout our marriage, we were not going to allow the outside to be part of the inside.
okay,
And when he proposed to me, I had already been coaching in that league for 2 years. And we sat down and we talked. And I said, you know what? I said, this is what I do. It takes a lot of time out of me. It's a lot of dedication. And I said, I don't want to start in a relationship on bad terms.
right,
I don't want to start off where I'm not giving you the quality time that our marriage would need. I said, so, you know, you love kids. If we're going to do this, we need to do this together.
together, yeah,
And we talked, and I said, I also would like to be that figure, parenting figure, that some of them don't have, because some of them don't know what it means to have a mother and a father. Some of
right,
them don't know how two people can disagree but agree, or
right,
agree to disagree. Like, they don't see that a lot of times. So I was surprised he agreed. And the fact
okay,
that I was the head coach, he agreed to even be my assistant coach.
wow,
And
okay,
the boys division, all the men coaches, well, actually even our division too, because in that league there was only 2 women coaches, and one of them
mm-hmm.
had been there for so long. She used to be my coach when I was in junior high.
Oh, wow,
And so all the men would give him heck, talking about, wow, how do you coach up under your wife? Like, don't you want your own team? And he's like, I'm okay where I'm at, you know?
right,
And it just really, to me, it helped us give these kids things that only God could align us for.
right,
And so when I wrote the book, I was thinking more of not just basketball, but life itself, because I
right,
coach basketball using the tools of life coaching skills,
gotcha,
and to teach them further. And so a lot of times people look at my book cover and they're like, I'm not into sports, but like I tell them, don't judge a book by its cover, because everybody that I have had read it, it's more than about basketball. It's this much of basketball.
right,
It's all
right,
about life. And I've had a lot of men come to me and say, oh my God, thank you for the book. It helped me. I
wow,
had an NFL player's mother read it.
wow.
And oh God, now I'm about to tear up again.
Look, it's okay.
Because I talk about the responsibility of a coach and what we're supposed to do as coaches for the youth. And she said that this book is not just for young ladies.
Right,
It can be used for young men as well, for parents, for people who are coaches, people who are thinking about coaching, people who are just trying to transform their life.
Right.
I just
Wow.
I just wish the world wasn't going in the direction that it's going in.
I know.
But at such a time as this, we need more leaders to stand up and say, enough is enough.
Yep.
Let's capture our youth while they're young and help them grow. And also, a pet peeve of mine are women who are in a position to, women of power who are in a position who can help others, feel like they're better than,
Mm-hmm.
not wanting to share information.
Yep.
I'm working on a project now with a young lady, well, actually 8 young ladies who are all been through a lot of trials and tribulations, and we're really trying to help heal the world.
Okay.
the book is going to be about really telling our story, because I learned a lot about things my mother went through after I was already an adult and hitting my head. And with my mother and with my grandmother being in the house with me and being more like a mother, I would have a lot of deep, dark conversations with her at night when nobody else is around. And
right.
I learned a lot that she asked me to keep a secret because she didn't know if my mother wanted me to know.
Right.
My mother being sexually abused when she was young. My mother still have not told me. My grandmother told me. My mother still don't even know I know, you know? But things like that. I myself made some mistakes. I remember in college I came home and I was dating this young man, and he would always come and pick me up from my mom's house. And this particular day he came, but he came with a friend. And they were in his friend's car, and I'm like, oh, okay. He's like, yeah, we're going to run out and do some things, and then he's going to drop me off at our car, and we're going to go and do what we're going to do. I'm like, oh, okay. So I'm thinking nothing of it.
Right.
I was born and raised in a wonderful suburb. I can't even lie and say it was an inner city. I don't know that life except for me making the choices that I made.
Right.
We're driving down the street, and my boyfriend, being who he was, sat in the back and let me sit up front. All of a sudden, his friend just kept turning his head looking at me. And I'm like, why is he looking at me? Like, what's going on? All of a sudden, my window rolled down. I'm like, why is he rolling down my window? Like, this man crazy? So now I'm getting nervous because I don't know this guy.
Right.
And he starts yelling. So I look at him, and then I look to my right out my window, and there's a car next to me. They're driving along side by side, and he starts screaming back at them.
Wow.
They're going back and forth. Next thing you know, there's a gun coming across my face. They're shooting at each other.
Oh, wow.
My boyfriend pulled my seat back and held me while they're shooting over each other. Like, these are mistakes that little things can change your life.
Right.
I remember once it was over and luckily nobody was hit, screaming and hollering, asking him to take me home. Like, this is not my kind of life. Yeah. Take me home. And then he's telling me why he don't want to take me home. He don't want the man to follow us. And I'm like, I don't care. My mom's brother is a police officer. My uncles are cops. I was like, take me to the house.
Right.
Sometimes, young ladies, we don't know what we're getting involved with because we don't ask the right questions of the guy who approaches us.
Yep.
I remember getting home, jumping out the car, not even saying goodbye. So nervous, I dropped my keys, can't even get in my house. I'm hitting the doorbell for my mom or somebody to open the door. I just can't get it open. Luckily, my little cousin come down and open the door, and I go in, and I'm screaming and hollering. I'm crying. I'm nervous, looking for my mom. My mom's not home. My grandmother's there. She's asking me what's going on. And the vision that kept coming to my mind as I'm telling her is when I went to open the door to get out. The bullet hole that was right there in that door by that handle that could have hit me.
Wow.
Little things like that, you know, keeping things like that a secret. My mom keeping her sexual abuse a secret. Little things. And I just said enough is enough. I have a young lady who, the girls who want to date the drug dealers or the gangbangers, I'm honest with them. I tell you don't want that life. You know?
No, you don't.
Luckily, I've been able, because of that, to possibly save a few kids' lives, because one of my young ladies got shot at because of her boyfriend. And that was after I made her leave him. Had she been with him when he was stabbed, she could have been stabbed. Like, there's so many things we don't realize these youth are going through, and I really want our kids to be saved. We need more people like you and I who are willing to work together, to reach out, to use our resources, to do what we can to save our kids, like save them, and not just put a Band-Aid over it and help them through, but help them, empower them, transform their lives. make them knowledgeable, educate them on not just book smart, but street smart.
Smarts.
Street
Yep.
get worse.
Worse and worse. Yep.
Little things like I have to tell my I have no biological kids. I have one stepdaughter, but I've helped raise literally, and it's gonna sound crazy, please don't think I'm crazy, about 12 other kids. I have like 12 kids that call me mom.
Right.
And literally, I have to tell them little things like, earlier I was just talking to one of my sons. I'm like, okay, have you heard back from the place that's supposed to be hiring you? When are you starting?
Right.
They said it was supposed to be February 6th. Well, I don't know. I'm waiting on them calling. Well, why don't you call them?
Right, you call them. Right.
They don't know. Telling my daughter, look, they're carjacking people, even in the nicest areas. Drive with your doors locked, because somebody just grabbed her door today. She called me, thank you, Mom, for telling me to lock my door, because you know I never do. She usually ride around with her windows all the way open. I'm like, no, crack them, but don't open them, not right now. Like, there's just little things our kids need. It's not always the biggest thing. It's things they need. I've had kids that live with their mom, and it looks all perfect on the outside, but the kid literally wasn't eating. I was feeding her every day. Wow. Literally, we had, between practice and games, she was with me 3 days a week. It became 7 days a week.
Wow.
Because I knew she wasn't going to eat if I didn't go pick her up and just have a reason to be with her.
Right.
Like, we have to be more open. We have to be more knowledgeable. Our youth are crying.
And it's crazy because we have to be more discerning. And I tell people all the time, when you got these girls that's acting out and doing certain things, it's not because they want to, but they're crying out for something. So you have to kind of build that relationship and take them under your wing and say, okay, what's the real issue here? What's really going on? If she's, I tell people that if you see the girl that's always with the guys making the wrong decision, it's because there's a lack of a positive male figure, preferably her father. But if it's not her father, because we got a lot of baby daddies that ain't doing nothing, that's not their fault. So if there's no male in the house, and I can speak from this because I have 3 kids, and neither one of their dads, they're 2 different dads, but neither one of their dads is in the picture. So now you have a teenager who's 16 who has not had that figure in her life. So she's gone astray, and I'm okay with saying that. You got 2 sons that don't have that figure in their life. So it's like, okay, we hear you, Ma, but the other side of us is calling us, and we don't sometimes know which way to go, because your way is okay, but that other DNA, it's easier, and we have to learn, even as parents, to be more in tune and to pull them in and sometimes have a conversation. It's not that for me personally, I don't really talk to them every day. I pay attention, and you watch and you notice, okay, the patterns are changing, what's really going on. My kids know they don't even get cell phones till they 15. Now, do they sneak on somebody else's phone and on the computer? Of course they do. But I always give them, like you said, I give them life skills. My mother did a lot of talking. I do a lot of motivational speaking and real talk with my kids. And it's just like, you can make the decisions you want to, but understand the consequences that come behind them. Do you want those consequences? Do you want to face jail time? Do you want to get shot up? Do you want to run the risk of me get, and we have to be real with our kids, because like you said, so many of our parents are more concerned about pouring into them materialistically, but they don't have that genuine love to know, what, Mama may not spend a whole lot of time with me, but the time that she does spend makes a world of difference. I know she loves me. She's working, and they become more understanding. But when you're just never there and you're standoffish, and they got the latest iPhone, the latest iPad, a MacBook, brand new Jordans, and you're giving them something to keep them busy and not feeding into the skills and the gifting that God has given them, then we end up with kids. And sometimes you can do that and you cannot do that. And because they're still lacking some type of nourishment, they're still going to go a certain way. But as the Bible says, train them up in the way that they should go. And when they grow old, they won't depart. It didn't say that they was going to go that way immediately. It just says train them up. But a lot of our parents are not training them up. And the mentor program programs that are out there goes right back to the same thing. How much money can I capitalize off of this kid? You have some very good mentor programs out there, but the bulk of them, it's like you charging $400 or $500, and you know most of these kids are from the inner city. Their parents can't afford that. They're barely able to put food on the table. And it becomes a thing, are you doing this because of a passion and you truly want to see kids' lives change, or are you doing it for another income? You have to get to the point, and I say this to anybody that's looking to mentor men or males or females. It has to be such a passion that if you had to pick up a job to ensure that these kids got what they needed from you, that you're able to pour out to them, and their parents have to worry about anything, that's what you have to do. Even if you say, I'm going to start with one or two. I've had a few mentees here and there. Some of them are in college now. One of them is in college, and we don't talk all the time, but every now and then, like you said, she'll hit me up. Hey, Ma, how you doing? She sometimes know me better than I know myself. I'll be like, I'm tired. Well, you need to get some sleep. And I'll be like, hold on. Who's the adult here? But they know when somebody is genuinely being there for them versus just, it's just somewhere for them to go because the parents don't want to deal with it. So I totally get it. We got to look at our kids from an aspect of, we're not going to complain about what they're doing, but we're going to get out there. And even if you don't have a passion to start your own thing or help, go volunteer somewhere. Go volunteer. Offer to take something. Go read a book to them. Go spend some time. Do something besides, I tell people, if you ain't doing nothing, stop. It's almost like when you go vote. If you didn't vote, you don't have a say-so. So if you're not mentoring and you're not doing what you got to do on your end, what you complaining for? You more the problem than the kids are.
Yes. And we need more parents as well. If you're a parent, and I get it in this day of time, some parents are working 2 or 3 jobs. I get it. But when you genuinely have someone who care about your kid and is not playing games with your kids, the support is something that they need to think about. There's been plenty of times they'll cry for me to do something, and I'll put on the event, and they won't even show up.
Wow.
They won't send their kids. I was told that sometimes if you don't put some kind of fee on it because they'll say they're coming, and I'll go out and buy food, I'll do this, and then they don't show up, and they're the ones who asked for me to do this type of stuff.
Right.
And then someone's like, well, that's because you don't make them commit by some kind of fee, even if it's $5. So then you tell them, okay, well, it's $5, it's $25, and they still won't show up. And in the end, it's like, I have already had sponsors. Their money's sitting here on the desk ready to give it back to them. It was just to get them to show up, and they still don't show up. And then shortly after that, when their kids start acting out, they're like, there's nothing out here for my kid. There's no program to really care. It's like, there are some that care, but you got to commit. Like, we all have to work together. And so it's so hard in today's society to weed out who's real, who's fake. I get it.
Yeah.
But once you find one that's real and actually genuinely care about your kids, I say hold them near and dear.
Very near.
Keep them close, because it really do take a village to raise a child. Yeah. And we really got to stop and think that it took a village when we were in slavery, and that's how we made it through. Right. There was a whole lot of kids who was calling somebody ma and pop that was not their mother and papa. Exactly. Their parents was killed during slavery. It was just somebody who, because you was a baby, took you in and raised you like you were their own. And half of the time you didn't know it. And when they did tell you it was what it was, you were a grown adult. But that's what helped us get out of it. Through the civil rights movement, it was a whole village that helped us through then. Why do we think that now, because we got a little bit more, that society ain't gonna give us enough just to get by? They're not giving us what we need to raise our kid on our own. Because if they did, you wouldn't be working 2 or 3 jobs. Exactly. Yes, we got more, but is it really more? Like, materialistic things don't raise a kid at all. Materialistic things don't help them become a man or a woman. Right. And like a lot of the programs, I deal with a lot of men And one thing that I made sure of doing is I would get them a mentor in the area of what their interest is, because, you know, my mother did a good job raising my brothers, but I'm a firm believer I could teach a young man the qualities and the characteristics that I would like for him to have as a man, but I've never, not once, lived a moment in my life as a man. So I can't tell him. I can tell him how to be a man. I can't show him how to be a man.
Exactly.
And so him looking at me to try to see how to be a man, it ain't gonna happen.
Yeah.
It's not gonna happen. And I'm not knocking single mothers. You guys are doing a good job, but you cannot show a boy how to be a man.
Yep.
You can't. You can tell them what you want, but you can't show them.
Right.
And we need to stop being so stubborn and thinking we can. We really do. And we need to understand, young ladies are looking at the men, at their father, I should say, trying to figure out what kind of man they are looking for. Yep. They're looking at their mothers, trying to figure out what kind of woman they want to become. Boys are looking at their fathers, trying to figure out what kind of man they want to become. And they're looking at their mothers like, okay, so how should I treat a woman, and what kind of woman should I look for?
Yep.
And it works together. We got to come together. And where there's a lack, we got to find a fill-in. And if I have to be that fill-in and be that mom that they need, and my husband be the dad that they need, so be it.
Yeah.
So be it.
Yeah.
I've been through a lot of rocky roads, but I've never been without. I've been blessed that even though I pour out a lot of my internal and my financial to other people, we've never been without. I've never missed a meal. God will provide. Don't think that you're not making enough money. Every little bit helps, and I promise you, God blesses us to bless others. And so setting on your money is not going to bring you money.
Listen.
You got to understand that.
Listen. Sowing, and it's crazy because my friend and I just had this conversation. People always think that a seed in the ground is financial. Seed is not just financial. Seed is not, it's time, it's energy, it's effort, it's prayer, it's everything that if we really look at the life of Christ, if we mimic him, those are all seeds. So whether you are sowing into somebody financially, or whether it was a relationship that went wrong, you sowed your good relationship seeds into someone else, and you might have did it 4 or 5 times. But please believe, when God sends you your mate, you're gonna reap the harvest of all the seeds that you sowed. So trust me, I get it. And people do need to understand that the principle of seed is not always a financial. The principle of sowing is not always a dollar bill, you know. And so I totally get it. So before we get out of here, let's cover the book and then share something about the book. And because we can go on, and people be like, okay, it's 12 o'clock. Right. And they like, it's 12 o'clock. They still on there talking. Don't they got jobs or something to go to? Listen, I'm a night owl, so I could talk to you forever, okay? So let's talk a little bit about the book. What motivated you to write it? What are you hoping that your readers get out of it? And then how can those that are watching now and those that will watch the replay support you, whether it's from the book or the coaching or doing things for the girls or whatever the case may be?
Well, first of all, it's called Girl Like a Girl. It's how good coaches transform girls into successful women. And again, my years with the young ladies, dealing with them, seeing what they were missing and how they were basically being used and abused is what inspired me to write the book, to try to help transform some lives before they bump their heads against the wall, like I had to learn a lot of things. I hope that anybody that pick up the book, this book, let me tell you, I have made sure that this book is easy to purchase. It is not expensive. It is on Amazon for, I want to say it's $5 or $6.
Oh, wow.
I could have easily priced it high, but my purpose was not to become rich off the book. I want it in as many people's hands as possible. The whole point of it is to, one, if you have already been through some things and you need just to read and see that you're not alone in ways that you can transform your life. If you are that female athlete or even that male athlete and you've had that bad coach to make you know what a good coach is like and what to look for. If you're a parent and you're worried about your kids and who you put in your before your kids to help mentor them, coach them, and be their role model, it tells you a lot of things of what to look for, what not to look for, what to avoid. And if you're just really anybody who is really looking to take their life from one place to another, it's basically here to give you some life skills to help you transform your life. I've been a certified professional coach for 21 years now.
Wow.
I've been coaching youth basketball for 21 years. I've been mentoring youth for 21. Well, if you include growing up as an aunt, it's been more than 21 years.
Right.
I have, which is weird, I have a consulting company where that's what I was doing during my day job before I realized that coaching can be my lifestyle full time. I go into companies and I help coach the executive staff. I help them do business development. I help make them transform. I've helped companies save billions of dollars. So even if you're like an entrepreneur and you're lost, you don't know what to do, I will help you any kind of way I can. That's just my life. I was called to do it. There's several ways you could contact me. Of course, through Facebook. My fan page is called Coach R. LaShun-Williams. I have a website called YourLifeDestiny.com. That is the website for my coaching practice. And with the youth, we have CoachRLaShun-Williams.com. And any of those places have my phone number, my email, my everything. I am the easiest to be accessible to. You don't have to be nervous to contact me. Yes, this is my lifestyle. This is what I do. I have programs that cost, but I also have a lot of things, especially when it comes to the youth. I have a lot of things that we find sponsorship.
Gotcha.
So there's ways around everything. Don't let you be scared of your past experiences with others deter you from contacting me. God has called me to do this, and I will say that again because for a while I was trying to get out of it and I was trying to avoid it. And this, I will say this, and people who really know me know, this was not my choice of life. This is what God chose me for.
Chose you for. Yep.
Originally I went to college to be an obstetrician and gynecologist. I did 2 full years of pre-med.
Wow.
Until I changed my major to pre-law psychology with a minor in professional coaching. I had to fit 4 years worth of a double major and a minor into 2 years because I had already completed 2 years. So it's not a game for me. I am a preacher's granddaughter. I probably have more of a heart than I should. I've been used and abused a lot, but God hasn't failed me.
Right.
And I don't think he's ever going to fail me because that's not the God I know. So, again, I am here. I am so honored to be on your show. I swear I am. And I really love being around people who have the same like mind and that is looking to transform lives because our nation needs healing more now than ever.
Yes.
If you're not aware, there was another shooting again today in a school in
Florida. Yep.
You guys better stay woke.
Yep.
These are kids killing.
And the crazy part about it is I just happened to hear, I seen it on the TV when I ran an errand, but I heard on the radio that one of the students said, we knew that if anybody was to ever shoot up the school, he would be the one to do it.
So again, he had cried for help.
Yep.
Nobody helped.
Nobody helped him.
Nobody helped.
Nobody. And even to, and I know we got to wrap this up, but even to those who are teachers, sometimes y'all got to stop focusing on, trust me, and I'm going to say this exactly how I hear the Lord saying it. Stop focusing on the dollar bill, because he going to supply that. Yes. You got to get in there, and if you going to teach, understand that you're a mother, a father, a coach, a mentor, yes, all of that, because you have so much influence, because you see these kids more than their parents see them. Yeah. And you can make a world of difference, because a lot of times our kids can be crying out. They won't cry back to their parents, because not all kids have that relationship. I've always told my kids, my door is open. Y'all can always talk to me. But even with an open door policy, there's still things that they don't want to bring to me, because I'm still mom. Yeah. So, and because of that, they connect with coaches and teachers and things like that, that they know are going to be they may not like it, but at the end of the day, they know that you have their best interest at heart. If you're not there to understand that you're more than just a teacher, but you're a life changer, leave. That's not your that's not your calling. Because I remember back in the day when you would go to school, our teachers were mothers, they were counselors, they were prayer warriors, whatever it took to help keep us in line. But now I understand our teachers are getting younger and younger. They're more impatient. They're almost as close in age as their students. But you still have to realize that is a calling that you have to be called into, because it takes a level of patience, discernment, intercessory, and all of that. And I just really believe if one teacher or one counselor would have heard him cry out, that young man would not be getting ready to face a lifetime of punishment for a moment of lashing out. Yeah, I'm just a firm believer. So teachers, counselors, principals, and I don't put everything on the school, but what we also have to realize is our mothers are getting younger and younger, and because of that, they're not being cultivated into the old school mothers, the old school grandmothers. So they got this welfare mentality, because that's what they've been brought up in, is nobody has told them, baby girl, baby boy, you have so much potential in you. The same energy you spend in robbing cars and fraud in the system, you could be a millionaire because of the way your mind thinks. So because they're not getting that, me and Coach LaShun can't reach them all. So if you know for a fact that that's your passion and that's your heart, listen, my friend and I say, since January 1st, we have said 2018 is the year to either piss or get off the pot. If you know that God has called you to make a difference, 2018 is the year to piss or get off the pot. Let the Lord give you instructions, because I promise you, I was getting ready to sit on something for an entire year until God strategically placed people in my life to kind of whoop my tail in the spirit realm. And I said, Lord, you sure? Case in point, I had a woman call me for a consultation about magazines. Anybody that knows me, I ain't never did a magazine. I had a desire years ago, but I focused on authors that want to do books. This woman told me, before I got on the call with her, I had another young lady reach out to me, who we've only seen each other maybe twice at a church I used to go to. And she wanted to talk. I thought she wanted to talk about something she had coming up. So I said, I got a call. I'm going to call you when I get done. Got on the call. This lady said, I've been trying to get in touch with you for 6 months. I said, what?
Wow.
6 months? She said, I've been trying to get in touch with you for 6 months because I want to do a magazine. I said, well, I'm going to be honest. That's not my lane. That went from I want to do a magazine to reading me like a book, and this woman didn't even know me. I said, wow. Wait, where'd you come from? Got off the phone with her, called the next young lady, and she said, I just asked one simple question. I said, how are you doing? She said, well, I'm feeling good in this area, but I ain't feeling too well in this area. I said, okay, let's talk. All I did was open the door. All she needed was for somebody to give her that push to let her know she was in the right direction. I said, Lord, is this what you're doing? He said, yeah, I'm doing it. So then I had to begin to make faith moves to say, all right, Lord, I thought you wanted me to sit for a little while. He said, no, you can start real small. You can start real small. So just know, like, God will, y'all, listen, I can't be more passionate about this than I am right now. This is not the time to play with the things that God has equipped you with. It ain't the time to play, because he's putting people in position now to help bring about deliverance for the next few years. Yes. So if you just take, I think I posted one day, I said, if you just take one step, God will take two. You may not understand. It may be as simple as calling a graphic designer to work on a logo, because you don't know what's coming after that. But you taking that step of faith. I have a hashtag that I'm doing now called Moving in Faith. Moving faith. Because that's what you have to go through this year as a faith move, because so many of us faced so much hell in 2017, and it was to birth what was to come in 2018 and beyond. So when I tell you, I feel you. And this, let me tell you, I just left for training, and I told him, I said, I got to be gone by 8:30 because of a prior engagement, because I said, I cannot continue to rearrange people that have set aside time on their calendar to talk to me. So literally when you were inboxing me, I literally was sitting down, walking in the door. My son is talking to me. He's like, Mom, you got to get your head together. And I'm looking at him, but if you just walk out and leave me alone, I'm going to get my head together. And it's just like, listen, dude, like, I appreciate your support. Like, I really, really do, but I got to focus, right? But this conversation has been such a blessing, and I don't know why the Lord had me go in on teachers, but to teachers and anybody that know teachers, listen, y'all stop playing with my back. I promise you, I told my son, I said, listen, I wasn't called to be a teacher because y'all kids are crazy. I said, but listen, if you come near me, I'm going to help you. I'm going to give you all your life, because it's certain things that I can't say to you in a classroom that I can say to you if you come to my car. Because, see, I tell kids all the time, you come to my house, let your mama know I beat other folks' children. So don't try to sue me, because I will beat somebody else's child. Because when you in my house, you're my child. When you with me, you're my child. And it's amazing how many kids have still gravitated towards me. And I'd be like, don't y'all know I'm crazy? I ain't rap too tight.
That's the thing. They want discipline. They want somebody who will show them they care. And it's funny because you keep talking about teachers and schools. I hired somebody to do the work because I'm doing so much. We are right now working on a campaign. If there's any teacher or anybody who's doing any kind of youth organization and you're looking for a speaker, contact me. These kids, I'm working on trying to get into a lot of these organizations, a lot of schools to do like self-esteem building programs, just to work with the youth. Contact me. Stop saying you don't know the right person. Everybody, you can say it as you want. I get it, but I'm here.
Right.
I ain't scared to go into schools. I've been in a lot of schools in the inner city of Chicago. There's one of them I go every year on the west side of Chicago. It is what it is. And I have a blast doing it. Love the kids. They love me back. Just contact us. We are on a mission to try to transform these kids' lives. It is what it is. And I don't want to be a teacher myself. I'm with you on that one. But
listen, I go into school. I'm like you. I go into schools all day long, and I keep it real with them because I get to leave. I know nobody's clock. I ain't set to certain standards. I can go in there, say what I want to say, keep it real, because kids know who's real and who's just coming up there giving them a bunch of fluff. So I'm not gonna get on the stage or walk in a class and be like, well, life is just grand. No, life can be hell sometimes. Let's just be honest. So it's just like, come on, teachers. Like, I understand that y'all are under certain contracts and certain things you can't, but there's a level of, if you want it back. Look, Eric Thomas is one of my favorite motivational speakers. He said, when you want it as bad as you want to breathe, you gonna go after it. So listen, if it means starting a little after school outing, you know, or going to the school board and saying, listen, I work in an inner city school, and these girls, I know I have what it takes to transform lives. How can I partner with the school to be an after school mentor program so that the parents aren't having to worry about how the kids gonna get there Monday through Friday, and maybe every other Saturday we get together. You got to think outside the box from this year going forward. There's no more doing programs as usual, because families are not doing families as usual, not yet, because they're going to get back to it. But until then, those that are being raised in single parent homes, such as mine, I always said, if anybody wanted to mentor my daughter or mentor my sons, have at it, because I know I'm mama. I'm not going to get told every single thing. So they need that outlet. And if you can be that outlet that they trust, listen, I don't have no hard feelings. I ain't going to get in my feelings. I'm not going to get emotional. Oh, my baby don't want to talk to me. It's not that they don't want to talk to you. You mama, you dad. They can't, because you might just go in on them a little too. They just need some understanding. They just need to vent, just like we have to vent. But sometimes we vent from a parenting situation and not a understanding, and we take the mama hat off, take the daddy hat off, and just really hear their heart. And when we as parents, I've learned so much about my kids. Sometimes I don't even know if they understand, because I took the mom hat off and just listened. And just let them say what they were going to say. Let them vent. And I better be like, wait a minute, you can't say that to me because I'm mama, but I understand what you're saying, you know?
Right.
And so the relationship is a little bit different. Is it the best? No, because they're teenagers. They're going through cuckoo stages. But you know, like, they done lost their mind. I tell them, y'all done lost y'all mind. But at the end of the day, when they make decisions, they can't say, well, we did this because of mama. No, you can't. You can't say that, because I'm doing the best that I can with the resources and tools that I have. But as y'all can see, we passionate about this. So I'm like, if you need somebody to come speak, call one of us, because she can hit Chicago and all of that. I can hit the South region and all of that, and together we can go out Midwest and do a double take. They be like, whoa, what just hit us? The Northeast and the Southeast hit the West side. They not ready for it. They not even ready for it. So, but like I said,
I'm on a plane like every other week.
Listen, y'all heard it. So if y'all have teachers, and I know I got a couple of youth organization mentor leaders that are on my page, at least here in Atlanta. Listen, if y'all know people, listen, reach out to her. Reach out to me. Between the two of us, if we don't tag team, because I feel something shifting here. If we don't tag team, then you you got one of the two. If I can't be there, she can be there. She can't be there, I can be there. Maybe we both can be there. We just do a double knockout, you know. But yes, listen. This has been a pleasure. Like I said, I could talk to you all night long, and they just be like, it's 4:00 in the morning. They still talking? Yes, I'm still. Look, let me charge my phone up because it went dead. But no, this was. I so thank you for being on tonight. Like, that's why I just I do the introduction, and I just let it go how it's gonna go, because so many times we get so programmed and it's just like robotic. But when you just let it flow, the genuineness and whatever needs to come up and out, comes up and out. So I appreciate you for being on tonight, and thank you for your patience, because I know we had to reschedule you a time or two so you could be hanging out with your husband because it's Valentine's Day, but you chose to hang out with single men. I'm okay. I'm so honored. I'm so honored that you decided to hang out with this single country girl from Atlanta. You are so welcome.
Atlanta was one of my main spots, so don't be surprised if you don't see me there.
Come on, just all you gotta do is hit me up.
My mom chose Minnesota over Spelman, so but yeah, I have a lot of family there. I'm there a lot, so definitely, I'm definitely gonna reach out when I come.
Yes, definitely. I will inbox you my number, and we'll take it from there.
thank you. And I'm honored to be on your show again.
So listen, when you get ready to write that next book, just let me know and I'll bring you back.
I'll definitely contact you.
Well, guys, this has been another wonderful edition of Author Chat with the lovely Coach LaShun-Williams. If you missed any of it, go back and start from the replay because she is a plethora of knowledge and passion. And listen, her book, Throw Like a Girl, is more than about sports, but it's teaching us as readers and mentors how to successfully build successful young girls into women. So if you want to be on the show as an author displaying your book, send me an email at info@speaklifepublications.com and just say I'm in, and we will forward you all the necessary information. Or if you're an author that says, hey, I'm ready to write my book, go to bit.ly/consult18 and schedule your free, y'all heard that, free 30 minutes. That's a half an hour. So come correct, okay? Because I'm going to come correct with mine. Schedule your free 30-minute consultation. We'll talk about your book. We'll talk about how my company can assist you. And then we'll take it from there. So you all have a wonderful, wonderful night. And remember, faith without works is dead. So if you're not working, the faith is out the window. So put some footwork behind that faith and watch God manifest everything that you are seeking him to manifest. You all have a wonderful, wonderful Wednesday, and I will see you all next week. Bye.
Bye-bye, honey.